Hello and welcome to The Gist on Nigeria Television Authority. Akure, my name is Folashade Famakinwa. Today we'll be opening a conversation that is well overdue. It is about widowhood. Widowhood is something that we hardly speak about in our community, how these women are treated. And I have with me today Mercy Roland. She is an advocate for widows and the girl child. It's good to have you here today.
Good afternoon.
Alright, so this widowhood topic is well overdue. It's something that people don't speak about. Women, they don't talk about it. And even family, the way they treat these women, they see it as a norm. So we'll start with talking about the experiences so far of the widows you've come across.
Alright, my name is Mercy Roland, the CEO for Mercy Speaks Initiatives. Okay, about the topic, widowhood is a topic that needs to be addressed, and not just in a TV station, but even in our churches and even in the mosques. Oftentimes, for Mercy Speaks Initiatives programs, we encounter personalities in the communities who are widows, and we often notice that they don't even want to open up, they don't want to talk about it, because the society they find themselves, the society make them believe that they are not even supposed to express how they feel. The society makes it look like it has happened and it has happened and they should just move on. And the most annoying part of this is that the way the society is, these categories of women are not even allowed to live in their fullness, meaning that they are not allowed to express themselves in the way that they would have loved to express themselves. There is a stigma on them already, and I think it's a nice thing talking about this. Thank you.
All right, so losing a partner is not just widowhood, you understand? It's how these people are being treated, how the environment they live judge them. You know, some of them, they feel they are the cause of this happening, and how it depends on the community right now. The ways of the South handle theirs is different from the Southwest and even the northern parts of Nigeria. I don't know if you have any experience that you'd like to share with us.
Of course, even where this environment, let's use Yoruba land.
Yes.
No, let's just use Yoruba land as a case study. The most common thing is when these women are faced with the situation that has happened, we often forget, especially the family of the victim, often forgetting that there is a psychological effect already going on in the mind that has distorted the plan of this other partner. So they are the fact that they try to make the incident personal. They tend to unconsciously forget the wife, and so to them they start feeling like they have lost something, and in the process there's this judgmental feeling, and the whole thing, it's like maybe if he hadn't married her it wouldn't have happened. And so rather than concentrating on the welfare of the wife and the children, even the period where there are cases that surround the victim becoming a dead person, as at that moment the concentration will always be on judging the wife
and even securing the diseased properties.
Exactly. So the treatment that comes after the death of a spouse goes beyond the death, goes after the wife, even the children, and you realize that these victims, they don't remain the same, and some can survive it, some won't even survive it the rest of their life. And guess what? Not only the woman, even the children.
I was about coming to that. Now, apart from the woman, the children, how do you think those children will accept this? These are children who are used to daddy and mommy, catering for their needs, and now they are left to just one person, and that person is already being traumatized. So how do you think these children will cope with this?
Of course, we know that the head controls the body. And so if the head is already gone, and the neck that needs to still, the neck is being affected. So the head, the neck is no more there. Of course, every part of the body will be affected. So it's not how the children of a deceased and a traumatized widow, they can't be the same. They can't be the same. And that is why there is a need, there is a call for family support and stop stigmatization, because it affects the woman, it affects the boy child in the family, it affects the girl child in the family. So the family is affected, the generation is affected.
Well, do you think culture is also encouraging this act? Because after the death of the person in question, there are so many rituals that this woman has to perform, and it's humane, as an inhuman treatment is being given to that woman in particular. So do you think our culture is also supporting this act?
Yes, our culture is supporting this act, and not just our culture alone. Our culture, our tradition, our beliefs, our religion, the social norms, everything actually affects what we are talking about here. Because some culture believes that you should dress in a certain way, and I tell you, after they have been subjected to dressing in that certain way, because it is psychological.
Some will even tell you to shave your hair.
Yes. Some will tell you to shave your hair. Some will tell you to drink a certain water. And you start seeing yourself in a different way. You start seeing yourself even I think
you don't have to be happy. You
can't find yourself being happy. There was a particular book launch I went to recently, and the lady, she's recovering from widowhood, and she shared her experience about when she's trying to pick up herself to even dress nicely. She still people coming to her DM to say, when did the husband die? 2 years ago. Now you are back on the streets. Oh, now you have started doing this, you have started doing that. And so if she had to think about what people would say, she would not move on for the rest of her life. So this, a whole lot of things. And you see the children, even in school, some parents who are very close to the victim, instead of the parents, the women, I'm talking about women now, to come together in their small communities, in their small units, to give a support to the victim, a lot of us goes around to start saying words that will actually victimize them the more. So if we look at this in different aspects, we'll see that it is unfair, and we should talk about this more. They should get support. They should not be victimized. They have a life to live, and they should be given an atmosphere that is not judgmental, that will allow them to be able to pick up their life. They need help.
Yes.
So people that need help should not be victimized. The society, the religion, the system we have should not take an advantage of someone who needs help to start victimizing such people and stigmatizing them. So I think you're doing a good job to have brought up this topic. Whenever we go to communities to have communities interactions around supporting the girl child and community development, we meet a lot of widows on the field, and they tend to share their stories with us. So pathetic.
So how do you handle such women?
Of course, as an advocate of a girl child and as the CEO of Mercy Speaks Initiative, I encourage them. I let them know that they have a life and they have to pick up their life, and if they don't encourage themselves, nobody will encourage them. And of course, I talk to most of them to get succumb from God, So you just have to arise and shine, and until then, you can't shine if you don't arise.
Most women who are at the receiving end are those who cannot meet their needs.
Exactly.
They rely on their husband, and once he's gone, the next thing the family, most of the families are fighting for is the property of that guy, and they don't mind throwing the kids and the woman out. So since you interact with these women, what do you think they can do to build their skills instead of just, you never can tell what the future holds, and nobody wants to be a widow. So what will you tell women to do?
Of course, even before you're married, and that's why we advocate around the girl child. We talk to the girl child even before becoming a woman, to now thought of getting married. So before you get to that stage, there should be an orientation, and I'm putting it out there to say that you have to be enough yourself before you can say that you want to get married. You are getting married to a man that is going to work together with you to achieve that which you have discovered about yourself. You don't go into marriage empty and expect a man to make you owners. So you have to identify who you are, and that will allow you to be able to choose a partner that will help you in the journey of achieving that which you have discovered. So if that person disappears or life happens, then remember, you have a discovery even before marriage. Of course, you will mourn. A lot of things will happen, but you have to pick up yourself. Pick up that thing that you have discovered. Pick up that thing inside of you and start working around it. Things might fall apart. You can start with a small business. You might have a skill. Use that skill, develop yourself rather than mourning. Even while mourning, distract yourself with things that you are passionate about. All of these things will bring fortune to you. So you don't have to keep mourning and putting yourself in a situation where people will be pitying you.
Yes.
Arise and do something to help your children.
To avoid these vulnerable states whereby people will take advantage of even the woman. The man is no longer there to protect her, and your kids cannot feed. You ask for help and someone else is taking advantage of that woman. So she's already there now. What will you tell a woman in such a position? She doesn't have a means to take care of the kids. So how will she pick up learning something immediately?
Okay, for such woman, before you can actually pick up and say you want to do something, you have to first of all know that voice that keeps coming to your ears, saying to you that you are not enough, saying to you that there's nothing inside of you, saying to you that the end has come. You will look at the mirror and say to yourself, I can do it. I am complete. I am able. If you build that confidence, then that thing that can help you to empower yourself, you will identify it. And with those children, you will work together and achieve something. So you have to believe in yourself first before you can actually do anything. And you can do it.
Okay, so we're coming to the legal aspects now. One of our colleagues in the parastatal I work in, he had an accident and died untimely. He didn't know he was going to, live like that. So he didn't really prepare his will properly. His brother was his next of kin. Immediately they heard that man died, the brother started fighting for the entitlements. Meanwhile, he has a full-blown family waiting for him. So in such parastatal like mine, they knew that this woman, she's really the one that needs this money. So they started fighting for her. So in such an organization or in any lawmaking firm, what will you advise that they do, to fight for this woman? You understand? In case of people who use their maybe brother and all that for next of kin, instead of using their wife and children.
Except we are just not being fair to ourselves. A woman in that state naturally cannot fight for herself. Because she's vulnerable, and she starts thinking of her life first before any other thing. And that's why you see most of them, they walk away, because when the energy is drawn from the family to material things, then they ask themselves, the owner of the material has even gone, why would they want to kill themselves? But so it is fair enough for the law enforcement agency, for the human rights agencies to arise and do the needful. I would say that they should go to the appropriate portals to complain. So complain is enough. Then they know what to do to actually help her to get that which belongs to her. Because of course, she might not even know how to go about it. And she does not even have strength to start doing all of that. Except some can actually do that. But not all. How many have we seen? How many have we seen? So they are just as the community needs the help of the government in different aspects of life. It's the same case with this. It's the same case with this, because this has something to do with a whole family.
Yes.
It
Not
has
just her now.
Not just her. So if one is being helpless, if one it does not have any support, then that's why you see a whole lot of them will not come out, because they will ask you, so person that it happened to, what did they do to her? Did she not complain? She complained, she went to this, she went to that, what happened? But if they start seeing results, of course, a whole lot of women who had lost their voices because their husband is gone, a whole lot of them will start coming out. Yeah, they start from the scratch, that's it.
So still on the issue of this next of kin, in this part of the world, when you hear, oh, have you done your will? People are like, God forbid, I'm not ready to die. I still have time. Now they don't think about their children. Let's assume, okay, your wife, okay, she could survive, but how about these kids that you work for? The reason why we work is to leave something for the children. Yeah. So what will you say about people with that mentality? We don't prepare ourselves.
Yeah, it's still a mindset. It's a mindset to accept reality. It's a mindset to, when we talk about some certain things and you hear our religious people saying, God forbid, my dead body, this. Yes, it's not going to be our portion, God forbid, and all of that. But it's reality. So doing your will, it's just organization.
To avoid the drama.
It's just you organizing your table. It's just you organizing your life, doing some certain things at a certain time in life. So it's just part of organization. But just because of the way the society sees it, and just because of the way, maybe from the stories in the past or from the movies we watch and all of that. So we have this mentality, when you watch movies, you see that old man, very old, writing his will. And so we grew up watching that kind of movies. And so when you talk about, oh, God forbid, am I 100 yet? So it's just what we should know that we should do.
So what message would you like to share with women going through widowhood?
All right, for every woman going through widowhood, I like to say that life is a journey, and sometimes we find ourselves in a bend, and a bend is not the end of the road. So that junction you find yourself, where your husband is no more there, is just a bend. So why not turn it to a story? Why not turn it to an avenue to identify something you've not identified before? Why not pick yourself and move away from that bend and proceed on that journey, because the journey has not come to end. It's just a bend. It's not the end of the journey.
Alright, so how can viewers watching this show become an ally to fight against cultural stigma of widowhood?
For everyone watching this show, I want to believe that when you mention someone is a widow, it's not that there's a community where we put some people and say community for widow. So we have widows in our family, we have them in our churches, we have them in the schools, we have them everywhere. And these people, they are our sister, they are our mother, they are our cousins, they are our friend. So it is only being fair to make other people happy, rather than taking an advantage of them and us being the reason why they feel bad. So I want to say that while you're listening to this program, just be that advocate that puts a smile on a widow.
So let me put you in a position whereby you've been given an appointment to handle, maybe ministry of so that handles widowhood, and you have a lot of fund. Okay. So what would be the things that you'd be dishing out to make them comfortable?
Oh, okay. So for me, if I'm given that privilege, first of all, I'm a mental health person. Okay. So I would want to have a center where we evaluate, we listen to them, and we support them medically. We allow them to be able to have an opportunity for them to be examined. And for their children, for every woman, if you give support to their children, you have relieved them. So I'm going to provide a center where the widows are empowered and their children are supported academically. And of course, for the ones that the children needs to get a job, of course, there will be a sector that will support them in that. So in the journey of their life, after they have lost their husband, they get support psychologically, physically, mentally, financially, and all round. That way it makes their world a whole one.
All right, thank you very much. Our guest, Mercy Roland, she has been so vibrant, and I'm sure you've learned something. On this show today, widowhood is not just a personal experience. Let us join this movement to fight against stigmatization in Nigeria and the world at large against, the way people treat widows. I am Folashade Famakinwa, and I urge you to join me same time, same station next week for another bumper package. Until then, bye for now.